Well, hello. I'm Ed Parcaut, host of Real Estate Jerky, the radio show, and we do these lives a couple times a week on top of the one we do for the radio show, on top of all that other stuff. These are just informative information, really easy for me to talk today. You try to get a little information that we find that people are asking, and I want to say thanks for being here today, Bobby. You've had the ideas this week. Thank you for doing that. But yours is because we were talking, and one of our clients we have, they're I don't want to say they're nitpicking, or, I don't want to use the wrong term, but basically they're picking out every little thing in every house they see, and they sold their house. They're in contract on their house.
Correct.
So they have 30 days to find another house. Every house they look at, they say, this is really bad. This is bad. This is bad. I mean, so the show that we have today is compromising in a tough market. Your needs versus your want. Is there certain things that you can, do? It's the whole thing about, when you have inspectors come in and they look at the house, they're going to tell you that your baby's ugly. First of all, you're going to be insulted, but that's their job, to tell you that it's not as beautiful as you think it is. And you have these issues and they want you to look at it. This is the same thing with buying a house. You can't, we're paying top dollar. I get it. You're upset that you're paying top dollar, and there's things that still have to be done.
Yeah.
If you want to change that, go back in time to 2010, and then you can get it, or 2009, you can get it any way you want it for real cheap, but we're not there anymore.
Well, and they're having the same problem in markets all around the country now, right, too, just because so many people left California and drove up the prices. And so
Californians,
I know we're a cancer sometimes.
Well, no, it's just, it's the same. It's everywhere. Don't think I had somebody text me last weekend, was like, hey, how do I get a list of foreclosures and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, go back in time. I'm sorry. So I'm like thinking, okay, because everybody heard, we'll get into your thing in a second, but everybody heard that because of COVID, all these houses are going in foreclosure. All these things are going to come up, and it's going to change the whole market and go under. That didn't happen. I did lives on it. Go back and look at my feed. You'll see I did one where the max we could have from that was 244,000 homes nationwide. Our normal nationwide foreclosure rate is around in the last 3 years was 260,000. It's a drop in the bucket. It was hardly any homes. So when I was trying to explain to him, I said, I don't know if you're going to, he goes, I'm not looking to flip. I'm just looking for me. He wants to move to Arizona. I'm like going,
gotcha,
dude, that's going to be, you missed that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's, your house went up here, luckily. But the problem is Arizona went up almost 30% in the last few years, where Modesto's went up 20%. So I'm done. I'm stopping being negative.
No.
To the compromise. What I'm getting at is it's everywhere. The issue's happening. Florida, 1,200 people going there a day from all over the country. Californians are still leaving, and I think I said this on a live a while back. 5 months ago or 4 months ago, if you're leaving to get in a better situation than California, it's too late. You missed the boat.
Yeah. That probably would have been back at the very beginning of 2020.
Pre that. I know people bought in Arizona before that and other places, before things start going up. It's, they always say you sell when people want to buy and you buy when people want to sell. That's what they talk about. Stock market, houses, cars, everything. I'm amazed how many old cars are being thrown on the marketplace right now. I'm talking really old cars.
Oh yeah.
Right? They're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah. And I'm always looking at classic cars because that's what I love. Right. And you'll see something that's like what we would have considered a project car a few years ago that you could have got for, $4,000 to $6,000. They're trying to sell for $15,000, I know it's very weird. I'm trying to figure out where this demand is coming from.
It's just, there's no cars. People need cars, I guess. But I saw because my high school car was a 69 Mustang, right? And that was my thing. I like Mustangs. And to find that Mustang now, it's like, you're ridiculous. There's no way I'm paying that for it. It ain't worth that.
Well, that's my daily driver is the 66 Mustang.
That's different. 66. That's different.
It's in decent shape. Well, you probably had a fastback, huh?
No, dude, I bought, my mom bought it for $900. I had to fix it.
So, gotcha.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say my car right now would probably sell for $12,000 in the shape it's in. It's right. Ridiculous.
It's that supply and demand. There's a demand for things right now because people think there's a very limited supply. housing there is.
Yeah.
Purchase or rental, same problem. So if you're going to rent, you might as well buy.
Well, and people are right now, the market changes so quickly that people have a hard time wrapping their head around it until they're actually involved in it, until they're in the thick of it, and we've written a couple offers, and that's kind of what the premise of the show is today. Is you're not going to get the perfect house at the perfect price in today's market, and it's not to be negative. It's just to kind of have a reality check, because it's like ripping off the Band-Aid. And people go, man, I got spanked on that offer, like that person came in $30,000 above what I came in at. And a lot of times we're seeing houses go for up to 46, $50,000 over list price if they are a gorgeous move-in ready, everything's done kind of home. So in this market, if that's what you want, just expect that you're going to be just putting as much cash as you can at it, because there's so many people looking at those houses.
And I mean, you say cash, but I've had some that were written over on a VA that came in, right? We just had to send new comps, updated comps, because things are coming in, because you got to look at, it's going to be worth it tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
In 2 months from now, it's definitely going to be worth it.
Well, like you said, once it closes, that's the
That's the price of that house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the issue really is how much of cash you have to bring in? Because just because you say it's over and above doesn't mean you have to bring that all in cash. The value could come in. You could be short $5,000. No big deal, right?
It could.
You just pay that out of pocket, or instead of putting 20% down, now you're putting 18% down. If you're putting 15% down, now you're putting 12% down. If you're doing 10, you're now 8. You get it?
Yeah.
No, you just put a little bit less down. You just eat it out of your down payment. It's not that big of a deal. I was seeing some people doing all these lives. I got a great idea what to do. If your offer, it's like, yeah, you put less down. You just take that out of the money you're going to put down. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. All right. Look at my shiny object. But what we were talking about and that's why we talked cars real quick and certain things, is because if you wanted that car, and those are the last ones because you needed that car, you'd pay $12,000 for your car. And the shape that it is, it's not perfect. But if that's what you wanted, and they were like houses right now, that's where I'm trying to get at, is there could be some things you need to do, like paint. There could be some other things you need to do, like, change out countertops and flooring and certain things, because it's not exactly the way you want it. Well, guess what? You would have done the same thing anyway.
Well, and the thing is, houses that are completely remodeled in a good neighborhood right now, we're talking 485, 550. That's kind of like the price range where they're at, right? And that's where they're getting bid up to. And so if you're willing to look at a house that's in like the 440 range, or maybe even a little bit lower, that needs a little TLC that everyone's overlooking, you can get that house, put 20 grand into it, and still be way under what you were looking at, as long as you're not compromising on the neighborhood.
Right. This sounds like an HGTV show.
Well, it's a show of our own,
like
right?
those shows back in the, where they come in and work. Okay. All right. You got the house for 80,000. We're going to put 150,000 into it. And when it's done, it's worth 200,000. I'm just kidding. It's worth.
I was going to say, you know what? I was like, maybe I've been brainwashed by watching those at the gym when I'm there.
No, I'm just saying these are the ones that like hometown and some of those, because you got people that have to be careful, because a lot of people think if I put 100 grand in my house in a kitchen remodel, I get 100 grand. That's not the case.
No,
you have to look at how much is labor, how much is that. A typical kitchen remodel pre-pandemic was probably 35, 40 grand. Now it's 60. Pre-pandemic bathroom remodel on average was 25 grand. Now it's 35 grand. So I mean, those are just things that everything went up, but it doesn't mean you automatically get it. So they're even saying that, hey, don't even redo your kitchen, don't redo your bathroom, just sell the house the way it is and let the next people do it, because just let them figure it out. We have our kitchen remodeled, our master bathroom remodeled. We still need to do the one bathroom looks like it's from 1960s. It's functional. It's just funky and
functional.
It's ugly. Yeah, it's just ugly. Whoever put that tile in should have been, Anyway, I have no idea how old is it. It's just, and it's not work. They got this huge island like thing in there, and for the counter, it's like huge. It's like,
really?
Yeah. Well, it's not island. I'm just saying it seems it's so big for the room. It's like, this shouldn't have never been put in here. And who likes clear oak?
I'm gonna say, I bet you back in the day there was probably a teenage girl that lived in that house and probably need all that counter space for makeup.
Yeah,
something
there
like that.
was. And then there was that same girl who tried to break into the house later on when it wasn't their house.
Oh, okay. That sounds.
It wasn't my house either. It was somebody else's.
Are you
But
trying to sell house alarms right now, Ed?
no, not at all.
Okay.
No, not at all. We have it. We have cameras, alarms, have all that stuff.
But yeah. So getting back to the compromising, right? I think once you write a couple offers and you get beat out, you start saying, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't need the house that's completely remodeled just the way I like it. Which is kind of odd to find anyway. But people are already compromising on that. They say, well, it's been redone in the last 6 months, so that's good enough for me.
We're in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Here's what I would do. I would
why
tell
not?
people, make a list what you want in a home, right? These are what I want. Look on that list what you're able to compromise, right? I want 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Well, I found a 4-bedroom, 2 baths, right? Is that good enough for me, or do I really need that half bath? You need to make that list of what you want. And this is the same thing I tell people when they're dating. Before you date anybody, make a list of what you want in the other person and only date that, right?
Yeah.
My example was I had a list. It was ridiculous. Everybody said I would never have it. I would never find it. The only thing I didn't get was 5'9". I got 5'4" and something. She keeps changing how tall she is. Right. That's the only compromise I had to do. But that was no big deal. Right. She just has to wear heels. I'm just kidding. I just have to lean over more. My wife had a list also and I've talked about this many times on different things, so it's nothing new, but she had a list, and the only thing, and everybody said she wouldn't get it either. The only thing I wasn't on her list was a fireman. She thought she wanted me gone every other night. And when you actually find that person to spend your life with, you're going to spend all your time with them. So we got counseling along with some other stuff on today's show. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is the same thing you need to do for the house that you're looking for. If you have a list and you say, okay, this is what I'm looking for, but I'm okay with a few of these things, right? And that's maybe a little session that you can have with the people before they go out and say, hey, I've been doing this for a while and this is what I'm running. And you need to make a list of what you want in a house. And then we need to talk about what we're going to compromise on. They're going to go, what? Compromise already? I haven't even seen a house. I just want to get you in that train of thought, because there are things that you're not going to like and things that you're going to need to change. And you have to be okay with that. It's not, and just say it's not like another person. You can't change another person, but you can change a house.
Well, absolutely. Oh, and like every client's different, but I know with this one specifically, though they have not said this, I've gathered this from the conversations that the neighborhood is more important than anything, but they're looking at the shiny object,
They say the neighborhood's everything, and then the houses too. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, but I was going to say, the one thing you can't change is a neighborhood that's already, in a bad spot.
No,
it's pretty rare. Obviously, like older parts, some like the college area. If we're talking here, Modesto, that's an area that's maintained its value and people have kept up with it. But
but every housing tract goes through an economic cycle, right? So when they're brand new, and then they go down, and they come back up. And that's what you're talking about. The college area, it's been that way for a long time now, resurgent, and a lot of people live there. Houses are more expensive. There's a lot of neighborhoods in Modesto, and then we'll example that are going through that. And the question is, do you want to be in that during that economic part and get in cheaper, or do you want to be in on it when it's on the other side? Yeah, I picked the other side. So yeah, because it's already. I do a lot of lives and radio, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying we talk about with the sheriff and other stuff, all the stuff that's going on. So you want to live in a safe neighborhood. Period. You can always change your house to the way you want it.
Exactly. Another thing I wouldn't compromise on is roof. If you say you put an offer on a house, but it has all kinds of roof issues and they're not willing to repair it, that's something that you don't want. But so location and roof, those are the two things that as a realtor, I look at. Everything else, like you said, inside can be changed over time, as long as you're in a secure location and you're not going to be wet and your ceiling's not going to cave in on you.
And the other thing is, if you can and you want a pool, find a house with a pool. It's so much cheaper.
Yeah, you don't want to have to pay to put one in.
No.
And you're not going to get your money back.
No. You'll get a lot of fun time out of it with your kids and memories you can't get back, because those are amazing memories, but you won't get your money back.
No.
But, memories are worth more than money.
Yeah.
As I'm told.
Yeah. Make memories, right? Not money.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I mean, because our other house that we had before we moved back to, we put a pool in there and we enjoyed it for many, many, many years. And then some other family got to enjoy it after we left there. So,
Yeah.
and we don't have one at our place now. We have a jacuzzi, but it's jacuzzis are a pain in the butt. Someone, taking care of those. Nobody does it for maintenance, those for you. You have to do it yourself. Anyway, I'm done. We've been going on for 15 minutes and I'm just keep talking and talking about things, trying to
No,
relate it so people understand. Don't worry about compromising. It's okay. You just have to find what you're willing to compromise, and you have to have this discussion ahead of time. And you should have that discussion with your real estate agent, realtor, whoever you're working with, to understand that you're all on the same page. What are we willing to compromise in this market?
yeah, absolutely. Because this is a tough market, and the best way to gauge how much interest is in that property is to see how many people are waiting to come show it just at the time that you went to go view it. If you see 3 or 4 other agents waiting outside for you to come out, you better either you're writing a strong offer, or you're looking at a different house.
Right. No, and that's not only here. Las Vegas, they have lines in front of new houses, new tracks open up all the time.
Yeah.
So, and that's how it is. You got to get in line. So there you go.
Yeah.
Let's move on from this and just figure out what that is ahead of time, so you are on the same page with your spouse, significant other, whoever that is, and your agent, so that we're all on the same page.
Yeah. And if you're looking for your first house, please give Ed a call and he'll set you up with a loan. Then I'll help you start looking.
That's right. Well, yeah, you can message me if you have any questions or if I can help you in any way. All right. Thank you, Bobby, for being here, and everybody make it a great day.
All right, thanks, Ed.